Stampers, this is Marie Bennett at blackberriesandcream.net, and today I want to show you how to make this sweet little basket. Mine says Happy Easter, but really it could be any kind of a spring or summer treat basket, and it's very, very simple to make. So let's go ahead and I'll show you the materials we use, and then we'll get started. So we're using the Teeny Tiny Wishes stamp set, and from this I'm using just the Happy Easter, and that's all the stamping we're doing. And we're going to be stamping in Pool Party on just a little scrap of Whisper White cardstock. So I'm going to do the stamping real quick. And I'm going to be punching this out with my washi tape punch, so I'm just going to stamp it right here. And that. And then the washi tape punch just punches out, just looks like a little strip of washi tape. So put that in there. Alright, the stamping is totally done for this project. Now to cut the basket out, we need the Big Shot and a Big's die called Berry Basket Bigs. Yeah, you can tell on these Big's dies because they have the label right there on the side. And to use this Big's die, I need the plastic piece, and that goes on bottom, and then the die goes on. And I'm using a sheet of designer series paper out of the birthday bouquet, and the papers in this stack of designer series paper are absolutely beautiful. Alright, I have cut this to 6 inches by 8.5 inches, and I cut it the 8.5 inch direction first, and then I can get two 6 by 8.5 inch pieces, and I can make two baskets because each one of these baskets only uses one piece of 6.5 by 8. So I lay that on top, and so the foam side of a Big's die is up, and then you put the paper on top of that, and you put another cutting mat on and just run it through that way. And that's all the cutting we need to do with the Big Shot. So the next tool I need is my Stampin' Trimmer. And to get the basket the dimension I want, which is I only want it 1 inch thick, then I need to put it at 3.5 inches, and I need to line this top up here at 3.5 inches. And then I'm going to cut it off. Then I'm going to do the same thing with this other piece. Line it up at 3.5 inches. And cut it off. Now I want to score at 1 inch, so I'm just going to put it on the 1 inch, making sure that this edge is lined up evenly on the 1 inch line. And do the same thing with this piece. Okay. Now I need one more piece to complete the the basket part, and this is a piece of 1 inch by, needs to be 1 inch by 8 inch pool party. So make sure it's 8 inches. Cut that, and then score it at 2.5 and 5.5. Two and a half and 5.5. All right. Then we need, for the handle of the basket, we need a piece that is 1/2 inches by 6.5 inches, and this is Pool Party cardstock. And I think that I need one more piece, and that is a 1/2 inch wide, I think it's a 1/2 inch, yeah, a 1/2 inch wide piece of this Designer Series paper. And this is going to be a full 12 inches, and then I'll cut it off as we put the basket together. So I think we have all of our pieces made now. I want to daub the edge of the greeting just to soften it up. So I'm using my sponge dauber, and I'm just going to daub around the edge of this label. There. And then there's one more thing I want to do to this label. I want to add some of these little, I don't know what they're called. They're called It's My Party enamel dots. And for this one, I'm going to use the greenish blue looking one. I'm sure it's supposed to be mint macaron, but it looks good with this pool party. So I'm going to use the larger of the two sizes. Come on, you. There. Now the label is ready. Okay. So the adhesive I'm using for this project is Fast Fuse. It's a box, a 3-dimensional piece, and I want to make sure it stays stuck together, so I'm using the Fast Fuse. And the first thing I want to do is fold on that score line I made, the 1 inch from the bottom. And then I need to fold on the score lines I made on the pool party. Oops, that. And then I'm going to adhere the pool party to the bottom of one of the basket pieces. Okay. So I'm adhering it just, whoops, just between those two score lines I made. And then I'll put some adhesive on the inside of one of the other basket pieces. I love this Fast Fuse, but every once in a while I get a roll that gives me trouble. Probably not the tape's fault. Alright, good. Now this side has the seam, so this is going to be the back of my basket. we adhere it in the basket shape with this piece of scalloped paper, and I want the contrasting side out. So I'm going to start with that, and it's not quite long enough to go all the way around. Well, let's put our adhesive on first. I'm going to put the fast fuse along the top edge. Okay. And I'm going to start in the front. I can see my fast fuse is not in the right place. There. Alright, so I'm going to start in the front. This doesn't quite go, one piece doesn't quite go all the way around, but that's okay. I have a way to fix that. So I'm just going to work my way around the basket, keeping the edge of this little scalloped piece even with the edge of the basket. And this, there we go. And I can see I'm going to have to do some trimming with my paper snips, but that's okay because this edge is a little too long. There, now you can see what I mean when I say it doesn't go all the way around. This is the front of the basket, so I've got this little open area, and I'm going to fix that by using some fast fuse and applying my label right over the top of that. You won't even be able to tell that it's not closed. So I want to center it like that, stick it on. Okay. So before I do anything else, I'm going to take my snips and trim this little bit off. There, perfect. Okay, so the next step is to put the handle on the basket, but before I do that, I want to tie on a bow. So I'm going to take my little handle here, which is 1/2 inch wide by 6.5 inches long, and I'm going to take my ribbon, which is the new what are they calling this, glitter ribbon, and it's in Pool Party, and I'm just going to tie a bow around this ribbon, or this handle. And I'm doing the bow now because once you get the handle on, it's a lot more difficult to tie a nice bow. So we'll just tie it first. Okay, so I've got the bow tied, and I'm just going to pull it so it's the size I want. I'm not going to trim it yet. I'll trim it after I get the handle on the basket and I know how long I want the bow tails to be. Alright, so the bow's done. Now, a little fast fuse on the end, on both ends, and that goes on the top side, like that. Okay, now the handle will go centered on the inside of the box. Oops, yep. Got to pay attention, make sure your bow is facing the front of the box, and this one is. I guess it's a basket, front of the basket. And then the next thing I need to do is put another layer of support around the inside of the basket. And that could be, well, that's what I cut this 12-inch piece for. And I want the flower side out on the inside of the basket, so I'm going to put some adhesive. I think I'll use this tear tape. Just put a strip of tear tape along here, backing off. And I don't want the seam to show. It'll show, but I mean, I don't want you to be able to see it easily. So I'm going to put the seam on the back of the front side of the basket. So right behind the label. That's where I'm going to start putting this on. And I'm going to be very careful to keep this lined up with the top of the basket. Just work my way around. Corners are tricky. Put this on the inside. Okay, then get over to this corner, same thing. I'm sure this looks a lot more difficult than it really is. Alright, now I'll just take my snips and cut that off. And then the inside of the basket has a nice little lining all the way around, holding the handle in place. Alright, that basket is done. All I need to do is decide how long do I want these tails to be. I kind of like where this is, and this side I'm going to cut about the same length. There. Now all I need to do is add a little Easter grass to the inside of the basket and put in my treat. I think I will use some more of this pink. I got the Easter grass at Hobby Lobby last year when they were selling all their Easter stuff for, I don't know, 75% off. And I don't have a Hobby Lobby handy here, so when I am in a town that has a Hobby Lobby and they've got a sale going on, I take advantage of it. So just put a little bit of this really pretty pink grass in here. You probably could make your own if you were creative, because it feels like it's just made out of paper. It's not cellophane or anything. Okay, and then inside the basket I put one of these little Russell Stover marshmallow eggs, but you could put anything you want in there. And add a little grass to make it look a little more festive. I'm just making a big mess. And there you have it. A cute little Easter basket. And I really think that you could put anything on there, thank you, or I don't know, Happy 4th of July. Just would depend on the style of paper that you use. This little treat basket is very versatile. And so if you would like to take a look at the Berry Basket Bigs die, I'll have a link on my Stampin' Up! Blog page. Just follow the link below this video and that'll take you right to my Stampin' Up! Blog, and you can follow that link to the store. Well, thanks for watching and happy stamping.